Alright, I'm back. Thanks for giving me just a second there, guys. I had a little bit of a glitch where I couldn't quite get my XSplit to pop up, so I wasn't actually able to start the stream back up, but now it's working. And after that game 1, there's no way this game 2 and the possible game 3 can't just be fantastic. So let's make it happen. We already see Mouz Sports banning out Keeper of the Light, saying, Right, it's Fnatic. We don't want to give them global presence because that's what they do. It's all they do. So, alright, there we go. So I guess it wasn't Karaoke in that last game. They've got their proper names back, so I know what the hell is going on. That's what's interesting actually is that Mouz apparently have their stand-in drafting, which, I mean, obviously Karaoke was their captain, so when he left, that left more of a hole than just a single really good player, and Karaoke's an amazing player. They lost their drafter too. So obviously they need to fill that hole with someone. They either need someone to step up and draft, or they need to fill that hole with somebody who can do it for them. Anyway, Wisp and Coddle. Yeah, you know, if I'm playing Fnatic, I'd have to say that's who I'd ban too. Now, what does Fnatic do in response to this? Are they going to ban out the Nyx just because Nyx is dumb? Are they going to ban out the Batrider and deal with the Nyx? Are they going to ban out something else completely? Let Mouz pick one of those and take what's left? Let's find out. They could ban out, if they banned out, like, Shadow Demon or Lifestealer or Gyrocopter or something that's like first phase worthy, then they could get, okay, they banned the Darkseer. I was about to say they could take one of those two and a Darkseer, which could be pretty darn significant, because both of those heroes, of course, well, everyone works well in concert with the Darkseer. He's Darkseer. But so yeah, they did leave both Bat and Nyx, leaving Mouz with a bit of a choice. I would take Nyx. I think he's more versatile and works against more lineups, but Bat can be so incredibly dominant that some teams obviously would like him more. We'll find out.
10 seconds remaining.
Batrider. Okay, so Mouz decides he's worth more than the Nyx, and the immediate Nyx pickup. Nyx and oh, that's mean. Nyx Lifestealer in the mid game. I mean, if you're just trying to, Fnatic generally likes to run reasonably aggressive sort of stuff, either aggressive or global. Usually both. Never ever let Fnatic get Wisp. You don't want to let that happen. They do terrible things to people when they get Wisp. But just this lets the Lifestealer pick up so many extra kills. The extra mobility from the Nyx Assassin, the ability to get in on people, especially in the mid game when supports don't have the money to buy sentries. No one's bought up a gem yet because no one's tanky enough to carry it, and it's not worth it for the map control you're getting. I mean, because you don't. For those of you who don't know, you generally don't really want to buy a gem until you have at least the full set of, like, the first set of towers down, because that's when you want to start counter-warding everything and making sure that they can't farm freely. And, like, so you've got those towers down, so those safe areas are gone, but if they ward up well enough, those areas are still theoretically safe because they can see everything that's coming. Obviously, smoke makes them not perfectly safe, there's invis gankers, but it's much less safe if somebody buys up a gem and kills all your wards. Anyway, Shadow Demon and PL are going to be the pickups from Mouz Sports. That's the beginnings of an excellent defensive tri-lane coming out right there. And as well as getting the Shadow Demon on their own side means that they can have 2 sets of Phantom Lancer illusions if they get lucky and the Shadow Demon illusions proc stuff up fast enough. So that's kind of insane that you can basically have Phantom Lancer plus 16 little other Phantom Lancers running around. Again, assuming that the cap works that way, I could be wrong. The cap might count both towards the same cap, but if it's coded in such a way that it doesn't, and that Shadow Demon has his own cap, oh, that Undying pick tells me that Fnatic wants to contest the tri-lane. Just despite the fact that they see a Shadow Demon and a Phantom Lancer, who, again, like I said, that's an amazing start to a defensive tri-lane. If you pick up Undying, you pretty much want to go try versus try. And that, I mean, with a Lifestealer, I wonder who they could add in. Maybe a Venomancer. Venomancer Undying Lifestealer is amazing, because the AoE slow coming out from Venomancer means you can get a whole lot of decay spam onto one person, really lower their HP, and then Lifestealer just hits them twice. Well, he's immune to magic, and you can't do anything about it, and they die. Let's see here. Fnatic, I would hope, would be banning out. They do have the Shadow Demon will help once he hits 6 at controlling the Lifestealer a bit, because if you can get the Demonic Purge off, since the slow goes through his Enrage. And basically the trick is, when you rage with Lifestealer, once that rage is over, you better have something ready, or you better have somebody to lock people down for you, because you're just going to start getting kited all over the place. Fnatic banning out the Bane, not wanting to deal with it. Mouse Sports banning out Nature's Prophet, because again, you don't want to give Fnatic any sort of global presence. And that's pretty much the 3 best global heroes in the game banned out. I would not be hugely surprised to see a Beastmaster ban out, just to completely nullify any sort of global presence, although it would be that would be 4 melee heroes on the same team. Well, you're usually just thinking about that with lanes. Basically, if your whole team can just get kited around instead of being able to hit people. I mean, supports, because, especially as a support hero, because you're kind of skirting the edge of the fight, if you're a melee support hero, you're basically just losing any auto attack damage you would be able to put out just by virtue of being melee. Because if you go into the middle, you just get popped by the tremendous amount of AoE that's being dropped around the carry, trying to isolate the carry, trying to pop off supports who get too close. As opposed to, you know, if you're sitting at the edge of the fight casting spells, and you can throw the occasional auto attack to get some extra damage out. While you're, of course, just spending most of the team fight positioning yourself properly. By the way, for those of you who don't really think about this a lot, probably the single most important skill as a support player is really excellent positioning. And because it's far more deadly to be out of position when you're an underfarmed support hero than when you're a lifestealer with free magic immunity and a health reset button, etc., or a Phantom Lancer with an invis and a whole lot of farm and a heart, Queen of Pain with a blink, that sort of stuff. Speaking of Queen of Pain, I didn't mention that she got banned out, and Venomancer. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, because that tri-lane, the Lifestealer Venomancer Undying tri-lane, I've seen it before, and I mean, if you just think about it, how being stuck next to an Undying is the last thing you want. Because he'll just sit there and hit you with decay over and over, and you'll just be at 400 life maximum. So Fnatic banned out Chen. Powerful hero. I don't see a specific reason they would have banned him out. I guess they just don't want to deal with that. Although I don't really mind. The heroes they have so far I actually think are pretty decent against Chen. The only thing that I have to worry about is that if they got an early game Dark Troll, it could really help shut down and defend the Phantom Lancer even better against that Lifestealer, because if Chen is just on standby to throw a troll net at Lifestealer every time he rages, that's a pretty significant lockdown of the potential of an aggressive tri-lane coming out from Fnatic. Now, see, does Fnatic want to ban out? They want to ban out, like, is there... I'm trying to think. There's more heroes that are good against Lifestealer, but okay, they would just want to not deal with the Gyrocopter, which doesn't... That's pretty solid, just because, if nothing else, Gyro is one of the single best heroes in the game for taking down Tombstone, because he can pop Flak Cannon and then just aim at the Tombstone and be killing everything around it. All the zombies will die to the Gyrocopter attacks, because he deals plenty of damage. The Tombstone will die in enough hits that he doesn't really care, and while he's hitting the Tombstone, he's not actually losing any DPS on any other targets. So the single huge teamfight advantage that Undying has, which is Tombstone, it's freaking amazing, gets really well nullified by a Gyrocopter. Brewmaster, going to be the mid laner for Mouse Sports, it looks like. So that's going to be either an off lane or a jungle bat. We'll see what their last pick is, and that'll probably tell us. It could be an off lane Brew, but that's super duper rare. I think I've mentioned that one other time. That's like ages ago. That's like maybe TI2 was the last time I might have seen that. It might have been earlier. I can't quite remember. But it's been a long time since we've seen an offlane Brewmaster, and I don't see him making a comeback anytime soon, just because he can be such a power player when he has a good mid. Rubik going to be picked up. That's also particularly good. I mean, Telekinesis is amazing for helping to pick off people in an aggressive tri-lane, and similar to how, if you think about it, like, so in an aggressive tri-lane, if you have a Luna and everyone has like 14 more damage, right? That's pretty darn significant. Because 14 more damage coming out from 3 heroes, especially people who usually wouldn't be outputting a lot of early damage, like ranged support heroes, is really significant. Now think about that the other way around. When Rubik Fade Bolts, even if it's only level 1 and it bounces around to your whole tri-lane is dealing like 14 less damage. So it's the same amount of damage swing, and even though it's not quite as good in terms of Luna just lets you get people down absurdly fast, it means that you can engage with more confidence into the enemy tri-lane, regardless of creep support and stuff, and that's a pretty strong defensive pick as well, the Visage. And if Fnatic starts putting out a lot of damage in that tri-lane, the Visage Soul Assumption is going to be a lot for them to try to deal with. The Rubik will have to be very, very afraid of that. It is so much damage. It stacks up so quickly. And there's a reason that we're seeing Visage being a tri-laner now, without a whole lot of changes to him too, which is so cool to me, that this hero, that people for versions and versions, they kind of like shunted him aside, especially in pubs. People saying, oh, Visage isn't very good. Oh, if you random Visage when you're in all pick, just repick him. We don't want to have a Visage on our team. He's dragging us all down. Visage is awesome, and has been for a long time. He's situational, but put him in the right lineup, and he's awesome. And, I mean, Team Liquid started showing us that. I think VP has been playing around with it a little bit. I could be wrong, but Mouse Sports obviously playing around with it, and he's shown his strength time and time again. Every time he gets picked, it feels like he's just super strong. And even if his team doesn't do that great, you can always see the strength of things like Soul Assumption, which is an amazing early nuke, Grave Chill, which is an absurdly good early slow, and then of course the Familiars, which pump out so much damage and can do a lot of, you know, global harassment, tower denies, and pro players with the micro that pro players have, how good they are at landing those Familiar stuns. It's a true treat to watch. I wish we saw more Visage coming out of more teams, but he's still kind of niche, only if in the fact that only a few teams are using him, and he's generally getting last picked, doesn't get early picked. No one really bans him, except maybe against Team Liquid sometimes. Oh, there we go! Silencer comes out, and that's just, oh, if they can there's so many excellent things they can do just because, by virtue of having that Silencer. Say, you know, the Batrider blinks and catches someone. Immediate global counter initiation by Silencer. Boom, it's just done. And then, so say the Brewmaster blinks in and claps. If the Silencer's fast enough on his R button, it looks like it is going to be, who's it going to be? It's going to be Trixie playing the Silencer, so I wonder if it'll be an off-lane Silencer. Actually, solo safe lane Silencer, probably because they want to put this Undying Rubik Lifestealer in an aggressive try. So the solo safe lane Silencer, oh man, that makes me happy. They could do a solo safe lane Nyx as well, but with Hani picking up the Nyx, it leads me to believe it's probably going to be their mid laner. But just the immediate counter initiation that can come out of Silencer. I mean, Brew might not even get his ultimate off sometimes. Say he does a blink clap, so he's got a second on his animation. If there's a fast finger coming out of Trixie right there, and Trixie is an excellent player with great reactions, he could silence out Fada before he can get the split off, and then they can just kill the Brewmaster before the split happens, and that's a huge, huge loss for your teamfight potential if you're Mouse Sports. Oh man, this is going to be a great game. I'm so happy to see both Visage and Silencer, two heroes I really, really love. Anyway, really quickly, running through Mouse Sports, we have Pos playing the Visage, stand-in Kojkva Q playing the Batrider. Gonna have Fada pull me a bottle. Trixie. We're gonna have Fada playing the mid Brewmaster. Gonna have Alex playing the Shadow Demon, Black playing the Phantom Lancer, no surprise. And I said, Pos, oh, this could be kind of dangerous right here for Mouse Sports if they don't get caught out. We have No Tail on the Undying, Fly on the Rubik, so it's a little bit of a switch there. No Tail was on the Rubik last game. All right, they got spotted by Black. They're probably not going to go on him. Era playing the Lifestealer, what a surprise. Hani going to be playing that Nyx Assassin, and Trixie going to be playing the Silencer.
And they're
and oh, this is going to be fun. And man, oh god, Silencer! Wow, I just thought about Silencer. Not because you're going to be getting him with Curse of the Silent. Obviously, you're not gonna get Curse of the Silent if you're laning against a Batrider. He's got sticky napalm. He doesn't care about your Curse of the Silent. But Last Word is going to be awesome. You know, you're going to get a nice silence to help slow him down. Like if he wants to cast that sticky napalm, like say, so you get 3 stacks of napalm, right? You put Last Word on him, and then he doesn't want to cast, or else he takes 150 damage. So he lets that fall off, or he lets it, or he waits or something. But it's nasty, you know. It's really unpleasant. Oh, I actually give the advantage in this lane to the Brewmaster just because Clap is so good. Because he's going to be able to get a lot of creep pressure coming out onto Hani. I mean, once Hani gets a few levels and can start mana burning him, and I guess it all depends on how quickly Fada gets his bottle out and how much he bottle crows it. Because especially if Hani gets some good rune control going and can just mana burn Fada out of the lane so that the clap doesn't happen, it could be like really significant. The runes and the bottle crowing could determine this lane. Clap coming out, secure that last hit. And here's the lane where I should be probably watching. The try-on-try Like I said, you have the Undying. You know it's a try-on-try. It's exactly what they want. And Visage is also a very try-on-try sort of hero, just because of Soul Assumption and how stupid good it is against tri-lanes. I don't think it's quite as good as Decay, because Decay is probably the single best versus try ability in the game. But Soul Assumption is up there, just because of how fast it'll be racking up damage. Bring up the last hit thing right up here. Stun coming out. I am curious to see the lane dynamics down here. And yeah, Trixie's going for a maxed out last word, and look at that. Look at that. He just says, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to take that damage," and look at how much damage it is. And he's got the free Orb Walk harass coming out from the Glaives of Wisdom as well, which means if the Batrider wants to stay in range to keep putting napalms on him, he's going to keep eating Glaives of Wisdom. Look at all that damage that's coming out, already forcing Batrider to salve up. That's just brutal. God, I love this hero in a 1v1 situation. I think he's amazingly strong. Very few heroes beat him. Looks like no huge action coming off in the try-on-try so far, but the farm for Era is indeed better by about double than the farm for Black at the moment. However, you have to keep in mind that when you're in an aggressive try and you're worrying about that, the players who are laning defensively can always get themselves their like duck in their jungle, get a little bit of extra experience, and they can basically get experience more efficiently because their supports can be off in the jungle doing stuff. Unless you have somebody who's an aggressive jungler who doesn't need pulls, like you have a Enchantress who can be farming these right here, and not only farming them, but also denying them to the enemy team. It's like Black going to get some decay thrown on him, but nothing's going to come of it. Tombstone actually going to be thrown down. There's the open whistle on a Black. He does have the Doppelwalk, so he's just going to get away. He's just out of range of that Sentry Ward right there. Maybe coming back in. They're going to take out the Tombstone real quick. I wonder if that weird glitch is happening again. Yeah. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop, guys, I promise. But so what I was trying to say about experience efficiency before that little mini engagement happened right there, because they don't have somebody who can just go into the jungle and get extra experience, their supports are going to be draining experience from the lifestealer if they want to get anything done, and they kind of have to be, because since you're relying on them to cast spells and pressure the lane, if they don't get any experience, they very quickly become a non-factor, and your aggressive tri-lane just, falls off just as quickly. This is looking a lot like Game 1, but in the reverse. There was a lifestealer aggressive tri-lane going up against a Phantom Lancer defensive tri-lane, and the aggressive tri-lane just isn't actually getting a whole lot done. Now the Phantom Lancer is starting to farm very, very well. He's up to 18-3 to the 16-3 of the lifestealer. So I have to say the laning phase so far, at least in this tri-lane, is an advantage for Mousesports. And they're winning the mid lane and the bottom lane as well. So they're, at the moment, winning creep score on all three lanes, but I didn't see that coming. Hey guys, drink every time I miss first blood. You're decidedly going to be totally wasted every time you watch one of my casts. Oh, man. Anyway, so Hani picking up first blood, picking up the Batrider, which is pretty darn significant because he was getting good farm in the bottom lane. It frees up Silencer to get a little more level and stuff. Oh, we do have initiation coming out in the top lane. Visage actually already picked off Rubik. Black is going to be running away. No Tail looks like he's going to be next. That Soul Assumption damage is just too much. Another one coming out? Maybe. No. Phantom Lance are going to take it with that Lance. And Era, you can tell he really wants to re-engage on Black, but he knows what a bad idea it is. He knows there's three heroes right there. Pos doesn't really have the mana to get anything done at the moment, though, so it might not be a bad time to just get some little cheap shots in on Black, which is exactly what he's doing. You have to remember, the one thing about Soul Assumption, as powerful as it is a huge mana cost until it gets leveled up, and since you're leveling reasonably slowly in a tri-lane, it stays really high mana for a long time. So, bam, I mean, this aggressive tri-lane has lost. I don't think there's really a great way for them to get back into this, because now the supports are out-leveling. For Mouz, the supports are going to be out-leveling Fnatic supports. Fnatic supports don't have a way to make up that deficit safely, so they should really just start roaming and getting things done. No Tail can maybe stay here, try and be aggressive, be annoying with Decay, but I think the Rubik should start roaming. Looks like he's actually going to come play a rune control game up here top. Going to snag that DD away from Veda, and that could be pretty huge. He's going to try and cliff him, maybe? No, just going to let him fall back down. He wasn't quite close enough to get cliffed anywhere. But yeah, denying that rune off of Veda is really significant just because of how much Thunderclap is a necessity to lane with a Brewmaster. Without it, you can't really do anything. I mean, that's amplified against a. Let me just speed through this pause real quick. The idea that you can't do anything without
Carry on.
Thunderclap is amplified if you're against a ranged hero. It's like a lot more significant, but still, I mean, a lot of the really good melee mids have. Oh, Batrider going down to a dive from Trixie. Looks like look at that! I missed a kill in the bottom lane again. Fata gonna come in and try to maybe. No, he's just gonna come in and take the farm. He said, "Okay, I'm not gonna catch him. I'm just gonna take this farm instead." Maybe they're gonna put the Batrider middle against the Nyx, because I'd actually. Actually, I don't really know, because at this point Trixie has skilled for laning against a Batrider. He doesn't have anything in Curse the Silent, and I wouldn't be surprised at this point if he skips Curse completely and just gets some points in stats instead, because Curse is really much more of a laning ability than anything else. I don't know, Batrider's coming back down here. They're not going to do a swap of any sort, but I mean, it's just, oh, I love Silencer. I'm sorry, guys. I have a bit of an obsession with that hero. For one thing, I think those glaives are wicked cool. Mahani getting good farm in the mid lane, already has his mana boots, has a bottle and a stick, so he's doing quite well for himself. Net worth, looks like the Silencer is actually topping it off just ahead of the Phantom Lancer. That's kind of awesome. Trixie just getting his farm on. The Silencer can be a reasonable carry. He doesn't scale up as hard as a lot of really powerful carries, but he can be a carry with amazing, amazing teamfight utility. You don't pick him for his carry potential. If he happens to get enough farm to get some carry going, that's just a huge bonus, because you already have one of the best ultimates in the entire game. Basically reads, we win a team fight for the next 4 seconds. 4, 5, 6 seconds. Game still remaining reasonably quiet. Couple kills going back and forth, obviously, from the one engagement up here being the really significant one. Brew picking himself up a regeneration rune, maybe moving towards the bottom lane. Now he's just going to go back to mid. Looks like he's going to be doing that hardcore Blink Rush, skipping everything in favor of Blink. It looks like we do have a port coming up here from the Nyx Assassin. Does just get spotted out by that ward, though. I probably saw him just as he crossed through there. So they're not going to be foolish enough to let Hani get anything for free. If he had invis a little sooner, he might have gotten around it, but at the same time, you don't want to burn off the invis and then not get anyone with it, because at level 1, it's actually a pretty significant cooldown. Blue just going to be pushing the mid lane in the meantime. Arrow looks like he gets slowed out just a little bit by a lance, but he doesn't really care too much. Looks like he's going for an armlet. Hani's still just hanging out, saying, I'm going to put enough pressure on that you don't want to farm. And just by virtue of my existing, you don't want to farm this lane right now. Oh, alright, decent stun, catches Black at the end of it. There's a slow coming out. He wands up enough mana to get a doppel walk off after that disruption. So dive starts in, there's the tombstone drop down. Fata did port up here, so Fnatic just disengaging very wisely. They're going to lose the tombstone, give up 90 gold, but that if they had tried to actually engage that, the quick port in from Fata, on top of the fact that he has his ultimate ready to go, that would have been a really horrendous engagement. And the big thing, Trixie doesn't have the mana to... He already global silenced, actually. Probably silenced them just that disruption went off. Look at Batrider, just not really able to get a lot done down here. 2 deaths already. Oh, Undying, it did get a kill on Shadow Demon up there. So Fnatic did not disengage like I thought they did. There's the slow coming out of Hani, though. He is going to get destroyed, even with that Spiked Carapace. Soul Assumption damage going to take out half of Fly's hit points in one shot. That's how ridiculous that damage is. Oh, man. Oh, Soul Assumption, you're so wonderful. 65 damage for each soul. So the max souls at the, let's say, alright, base damage 20, right? So 65 damage for each soul, up to 6 souls at max level. That's 410 damage on a 4-second cooldown, as long as you keep charging up the souls. And in the middle of a team fight, that happens. Oh, that is a dangerous place for you to be, No Taylor. There's a Grave Chill. Stun's gonna come out. No, doesn't even need him. Just as the damage from the familiars, and he gets destroyed by that Soul Assumption. Zombies are going to chase Pos down, but he's not going to take enough damage to actually care about it. Looks like Silencer might be next on the docket. Slow's coming out. He doesn't have the mana to really do anything about this. He knows he has to get back, but the disruption comes out just in time. Fire's going to come out, try and get something done. Firefly happens, but Batrider gets lifted just as the lasso goes off. And oh, the TP in from Fnatic, from Fly wasn't enough, unfortunately, for Fnatic right there. Sorry, I just tripped over words all over the place in that team fight. My bad, guys.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
There's the Blink Dagger coming out from Fada, so pretty well-timed Blink Dagger, about 11 minutes. Hopefully going for some Arcane Boots real quick for some mana stability, and then probably straight into his Aghanim Scepter. So we're going to be seeing that Brewmaster have quite an impact on the mid-game if he wants to, which is quite significant because if this goes past the mid-game, Fnatic pretty much loses by default, just because that Phantom Lancer is going to just do unseemly things all over that Lifestealer. I mean, as far as melee carries go, in the late game, Lifestealer is kind of really unimpressive unless he's gotten a huge amount of extra farm, which he can, don't get me wrong. Like his mid game is so incredibly strong, he can take a huge lead at that point and just dominate the late game. But it has to actually happen. And the fact that there's a Brewmaster who's so farmed right now already, and who looks like he's going to be getting his items at a very nice pace, and who's probably going to be level, I mean, he's nearly level 10, going to be level 11 within maybe 3 to 4 minutes, and that's going to be a really huge force on the mid game right here. And if Mouz can take control of the mid-game, I feel they can run away with this. I hope they play it aggressive. Looks like they do want to get something done on Silencer. Oh, he misses the Blink Clap, and now Fada left with no mana. Gonna have to just bottle up really quickly. Hani may be coming in to look for a counter, but no, he doesn't actually want to go in. And he does get spotted, so he's not going to burn off his ultimate and attempt to chase anyone down. He knows they see him. Not even caring about that illusion. Just saying, hey, where are you guys going? I'm a beetle. I just want to hang out. We're going to do beetle things together. Oh, maybe dive coming in here on No Tail. They could very easily. There comes the slow from the Lance. Tombstone gets dropped down, but not going to be anywhere near enough. Didn't even have to use the Soul Assumption. The Grave Chill plus all the damage. Oh, look at those zombies. They were getting so much work done on Paz before that Tombstone went down. Oh, man. That was brutal. I mean, he charged up his Soul Assumption really quickly, but, man, those zombies almost wrecked him. So we have a bit of an engagement going on in the mid lane. Era has already popped off his rage. Napalm going to come out, try and just pressure them a little bit more. No one actually going to go down. But Mouz may be looking to push in this mid lane. Fada, Alex, and Kolshkva. Am I trying to attribute, like, pronunciation to something that is not actually meant to be pronounced? I feel like I might be, but at the same time I don't want to like be offensive and just say it's a troll name, because I don't speak the languages Mouz speaks. Those guys speak way more languages than I do. Trixie putting some pressure in on this bottom lane. Alright, so he's going for a mech, which he very nearly has. He's only 400 gold away from it, so he's going to actually be nice and well-timed. Not going for a carry build, going for a support build, knowing that he's getting enough farm, and his tri-lane supports aren't, that he really needs to get the support items. Looks like Slow's going to go down from Kloshkva. Try and slow No Tail down. Another Napalm coming out, but he's not going to chase him any further than that. Knows it would be a little dangerous, especially with our good friend Era hanging out right here.
Oh, good.
Hani now just framming up the top lane. Getting his fram on. Trixie wisely backing off. Senses that there aren't a lot of heroes showing on the map right now, so he'd be a little dangerous for him to keep pushing like that. Visage looks like he wants to come in. Familiar's coming around. Oh, there goes the slow from Fada. They're going to get a lot of damage done. Drunken Haze happens. Oh, and he pops the silence in. Ports out just in time. Oh, global silence. What did I say about best counter initiation in the game? Because it is. Goes from anywhere on the map, stops you from casting all your spells. Or you're gonna have to see how quickly. I mean, are they even? They don't really have heroes who are traditionally BKB carriers over on Mouse Sports. Which, I mean, even Phantom Lancer, being a hard melee carry, doesn't tend to get a BKB. So we're gonna have to see if anyone tries to modify their build just a little bit so they can BKB out of that global silence. But I'm not really sure they will, and that's going to be, I feel, really significant.
There goes Radiant's bottom tower.
We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Although now they know that they have they still have a minute and a half until global silence is back up, so they can engage wherever they want. Because having to blow global silence to save yourself, sure, it's amazing for saving anybody, but if you have to blow it just to keep someone from dying, you pretty much conceded your ability to team fight for the next couple of minutes. And so you have to play very, very carefully until that ultimate's back up. Brewmaster continuing to farm the middle lane. Getting a little more going there. Got himself plenty of regen in that blink still. Oh, it's going to be picking up a haste rune. That could be really dangerous if they, does Fnatic have vision of him getting that? No, they have no idea, so they have to assume that he's going to be looking to gank someone, but a hasted Brewmaster is just hard to get away from. Oh, there he catches No Tail right here. There goes the split. There's no way Nifta's getting away from that. The Boulder Sun comes out. The the Storm Panda just runs ahead with his Windwalk, and they quickly take out the Tombstone as well. I don't know why he dropped the Tombstone there, unless his goal was to give Mouz some extra gold right there. There's the Cyclone just to piss off Lifestealer right there. God, that lasts a long time. Oh, there goes the blink in onto Trixie, but oh, Telekinesis brings him right back in. They're not going to re-engage, though. They know how dangerous it is against 4 heroes, especially that Visage, to try and get anything done. They still don't have Global Silence for another 10 seconds. They do have the mech, which is pretty big at this phase of the game. You know, 250 health is a quarter of the health pool of most heroes right now. I mean, it's more so. Like, that's almost half of Rubik's health. So it can be a pretty significant shift in any sort of fight. Look at all that damage coming out from the Shadow Demon. Just throw that Shadow Poison, lose a third of your life, because last word. Yep, as I suspected, Trixie is just gladly skipping Curse of the Silent. It's very much a laning ability, and if you're not going to get it in the lane, it's not really worth getting else like outside of it, except against some very specific heroes. Basically, heroes that have like one active spell that costs them a crap ton of mana and they have a bad pool, then it can be okay, but it's still not amazing outside of the laning phase. Fnatic looks like they really want this tower. They're happy to let Phantom Lancer just farm up top. Black just getting his farm on, 113 creep score right now. Hani going to reflect that Flame Break nicely onto Koshkva. Oh, looks like they might want to dive in on Alex. Now they're just pressuring him away from the tower just enough. Put enough of the thought on they might want to dive that they're willing to just let them get the tower. Looks like Pasto is going to be slowed down by an open wounds coming out from Era. Rage comes out. He dies very, very quickly. He gets picked off in the end, dying. So they trade 1 for 1, or they trade 1 for 0, and trade towers 1 for 1. But Phantom Lancer getting a solo tower is pretty significant. He already has his Yasha and his Diffusal Blade, so his timings on his items just as good as Trixie's were last game. And we saw what happened in that game. Well, it was a damn nail biter all the way through, but at the same time, the Phantom Lancer was incredibly powerful, even though he didn't get a lot of kills. The timing on his items just from his creep farm and his tower push made him a real force. I mean, this is something teams generally don't really gank a Phantom Lancer. They trust themselves to win the mid game against a Phantom Lancer, which isn't. I mean, that's decidedly when he's at his weakest. Because in lane, actually, he's perfectly good. Spirit Lance is a whole lot of damage and a good slow. Doppelwalk is an excellent escape mechanism. Looks like Hani gonna get off the spiked Carapace just in time to prevent the Thunderclap initiation from being particularly effective. And then, even though the Demonic Purge gets used by Alex, he just runs right away. Soul Catcher, so nasty. 20, 30, 40, 50% amp damage. Who thought that up?
Dire's top tower.
It amplifies damage more than the actual spell amplify damage. Checkmate, atheists. Era's just going to take that top tower for free.
Top tower's gone.
Mouz shifting like they wanted to do something about it, but couldn't quite get there fast enough. Maybe they want to re-engage. They think that Era has nothing going on here. They drop. Oh, there we go. Blink in. Primal Split going to happen after the clap on 2 supports. Era going to immediately go in on that Batrider, try and take him down before he can get any good spells off him. And then no Firefly, no Lasso. That's pretty significant. Pod's going to be the next target. Try and take out that Soul Assumption damage. He's going to get defensive disrupted. Quick pop-off from Era, but Cos is going to go down immediately. Damage coming out on all of those Brewmaster Pandas. Oh, he's going to combine right before he would have gone down, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They have another stun coming out, another kill coming out for Era. 4 heroes down. This is going to be 5. Alex slowed down. Does he have a disruption ready? No, he does not. Easy final kill, and 5 for 1 trade for Fnatic. Just when it looked like they were starting to kind of fall behind a little bit, starting to maybe lose a little bit of initiative, just excellent turnaround team fight from them after that Panda initiation. Beautiful, and they're going to get a tier 2 from this as well. That is exactly what they needed at this stage of the game, because they need to take back the mid-game and get a mid-game advantage right now. They can't let the game just go. They can't be satisfied with going even in this situation. Let's see how they're doing. So the experience, which had been slightly in Mouz's favor, like I said, they were building a bit of advantage. Boom! Right back up to 0. The gold. Boom! Right back up to 0. So Fnatic evens it out, and I hope that they use that, and they use the strength of their lineup as a mid-game sort of lineup to put extra pressure on, try to get some pickoffs, get some more tower pushing done. Don't let Mouz farm. Get something done. Do work. Oh, man. Koshkra just trying to farm off the jungle. He doesn't quite have his Blink Dagger yet, which is really hurting Mouz's mid-game. He didn't get nearly as much farm as he wanted to in that bottom lane, you could tell. Going up against that Silencer really hurt him pretty badly. Is Silencer going for... Oh ho ho. I think he is going for a Necronomicon, and that's not only fantastic just because it's an amazing item and a great mid-game pushing item, but the mana burn and the True Sight especially, because you can just use those Necronomicon minions to... Nyx has a Necro. Are they going all Necro strat? Are they going all Necro strat? Oh my god, do it, guys. It's going to be glorious. But so Necro 2 already coming out, and so I was talking about Necro, not realizing that there's already one in the game. But just the power of the mana burn coming out from the Archer, the constant mana burn swats that you're getting from the creeps, and especially the power of the True Sight for counter warding is just massive in the mid game. It's an item I really think should be picked up more. Fly going to get drunken hazed and tossed backwards a little bit. Pa's going to come in, and so it looks like... Oh, he stole the ultimate! He stole the ultimate! I didn't even realize he had that. Excellent little steal there, getting a lot of work done. No Tail already picking off Phantom Lancer in the background. No idea how that happened, but it looks like Paz is going to be next. That was a nice little catch there from Fly. I was just thinking to myself, man, why is Fly going back in there? You know, he's getting a panda split around him, and oh... Those are his pandas, and that was beautiful. Well played by Fnatic once again. Just a nice little catch. Mouz thinking they had an advantage, they didn't, I guess. And with Black getting picked off on the other side of the map, that's a lot. I didn't see how that happened, but that's pretty darn huge, and it gives them, you know, another kill on the Phantom Lancer, delays any more of his items. So he's just barely going to get the orb for his Manta release. You know, he would have hoped to be much closer and be working on the recipe right now. Batrider looks like he's going to deny bottom tower, but about a little more than a third damage, between half and a third damage done to that mid tower. Aaron now has a Deso on top of his armlet, so that's, I mean, that is some mid-game power. He's swinging for a lot, and the -6 armor, especially because the vast majority of these heroes aren't particularly well armored. You know, Brewmaster, that puts him down to 1 armor. Well, okay, Gravekeeper's Cloak. Not going to talk about Visage, because that's a pretty tanky dude. Batrider puts him down to 4 armor. Shadow Demon puts him down to -2 armor. The only one who's going to be really well armored, not counting the Gravekeeper's Cloak from Visage if it gets taken off, is Black, sitting at 18. Oh, Open Wounds is coming out onto the Batrider. Alex is going to turn around, try to get a Demonic Purge to slow Era down. Oh, they're going to turn it around. The Lasso's pulling him right back. His rage is over. He's stuck in the Firefly, starting to get slowed down. Visage already picks off Rubik. The Panda's doing so much work. Era getting shoved back into the fight and brought down. And everyone just trying to get out right now. Trixie, I guess, oh, Trixie getting whirlwinded. He might be the next target. They're going to sit those familiars on for a stun, maybe, and, oh no, they missed it by just an inch, but the slow is going to come out. It's familiar stun. Oh, it's already been used, so he gets out just fine. Still, though, Fnatic, just like Mouz, thinking they had a little more of an advantage than they actually did. Overextending, Eric getting a little greedy going for that kill, and oh, how did, what? Oh, it was Necronomicon minions, duh. I'm like, Hani's back there. How did he do that? But yeah, Necronomicon minions, pretty darn strong, guys. So at least Hani gets a little bit of revenge and picks off that Batrider, who does have his Blink Dagger now. So you can't slow... don't need to worry too much. Obviously, he still wants that Force Staff, but just having the Blink Dagger is such a huge force multiplier for Batrider. It's absolutely crazy. How are we doing on Golden Experience? So now, again, Fnatic was spiking up a little, and they just lost about a little more than 1,000 points worth of the experience advantage. Lost maybe 500 to 1,000 worth of the gold advantage right there that they had been building up. But they still have the advantage. They need to keep the advantage, and they can't do anything more like that, or they're going to give it away real quick. But it looks like this tower is going to be taken without much trouble. You'd think Mouz would want to defend this. I mean, I guess the Brewmaster ultimate is down, so they don't feel hugely confident in their team fight right now, because that's the vast majority of their team fight control. And if you don't have any control, your Phantom Lancer can't really do a lot because he can't find anything to hit because no one's locked down. the damage isn't really being done, and Paz can just get chased down and beaten up so that they don't have to deal with the soul assumption, because as soon as they're through that Gravekeeper's Cloak, and it looks like Fnatic is going to take an easy Roshan. They do. Mouz knows it's happening. They're going to try and... Oh, they were trying very quickly. Oh, they gave up a familiar for free. That's really unfortunate. That's 100 extra gold for Era, on top of already getting a Roshan and the Aegis, which can... That's pretty... Oh, man. So, obviously the familiars wanted to get in there. They wanted to try and maybe stun with one of them and take out the... destroy the Aegis with the other one. But the rage came out from Lifestealer. He knew it was coming. He saw the familiars come in. So he raged to make sure he couldn't get stunned, and then just took the Aegis. Because, you know, rage. It's a pretty good ability, I hear. Turns him red. And I mean, everyone knows that red heroes are stronger than, like, pale, fleshy heroes. Oh, do they have a gem? Yeah, Brewmaster has picked up a gem to deal with not only the next assassin, but to do a lot of counter-warding around the map. Try and get some map control going, especially if they can pick off this mid-tower right here. And just, not that there's, you know, an absurd amount. I mean, there's a ward right here they can take down. What else? They have the ward right there, but, you know, those are like Roshan and mid-control wards. And so at this point, those aren't really that huge. I mean, this is a little about jungle safety, so you can see people who are coming in here, who are maybe skirting around here. But the Roshan ward at this point is almost obsolete, because guess what? Fnatic took Roshan. How are we doing on net worth? Lifestealer is at the top, but just barely, by about 500 gold over that Phantom Lancer. Then we have Nyx and Silencer are going to be the next two, and that Silencer getting quite a bit of gold. So on top of that, Mac, he has his Necro 2 now. Nyx has his Necro 3s. That's going to be a lot of nasty extra damage coming out in teamfights. I wish... I should actually look up just how much damage these things actually are, but I mean, look at this. You know, 75 damage plus the 11 from the Vlad's aura. I mean, 11 armor. You also have 75 mana burn per hit, and last will damage of 600, and of course True Sight. And then also remember that the Archer gives you the fantastic Haste aura. It's both attack speed and movement speed, 9%. And 900 radius, 9% move speed aura on just that item is pretty darn awesome. And then targeted mana burn of 225. So combine that with the next mana burn, and combine that with the Silencer silence, that's a lot of control against spells that Fnatic actually has. They can try to prevent people from really getting any decent abilities off, which will be really significant if they can ever catch the Brewmaster and just burn away his mana, especially because he doesn't have an Ags yet. He didn't go for mana boosts. He skipped those completely. He has enough regen, but he's not going to really be able to get off his combo in the middle of a fight if he takes any significant mana burn. So especially if they get a silence off, they can then just burn off all of his mana, and then it doesn't matter if they kill him or not. He's not useful anymore. Black pushing up the top lane. Getting his illusion on. He's also got a single illusion pushing the mid lane. Doesn't look like it's going to propagate itself, though. No, it does not. Got an illusion farming. God, just illusions everywhere. There's too many Lancers.
Radiant's top towers
as LD said, the cancer is spreading.
Do something about that bottom tower.
And that tower is just getting melted by that Deso damage combined with the Lifestealer damage. Lifestealer taking a lot of damage while he's doing this. He does get it, but does he want to... Alright, he gets mech'd up a little bit. And he also won a Vlad, so that's even more... He's the one carrying the Vlads. That is a... They want to win mid-game. If they don't win, they basically put a timer on when they have to win by, even more than they already had. In that just, you know... Oh, wow, that's a lot of free gold. That, like, 5 gold from each of those zombies is really going to add up. Oh, Black hiding. He wants to get something done. Maybe just wants to stick around, keep the push going up here. Wanted to pretend he had bailed, but no. But anyway, if Fnatic doesn't win within the next... Oh, honey. They have the Necronomicon. Remember, they can catch Black even if he tries to... even if he tries to just book it out with his Doppelwalk. Sorry. And slow. Oh, get him. Damage. Too much damage coming out from that Lifestealer. And Black just goes down. And that, I mean, that's 50 seconds. Does he have a buyback? No, he does not. He just bought his Reaver. So they have about 50 seconds where they can just push pretty much uncontested, not having to worry about a Phantom Lancer, who is reasonably farmed at this point between Manta, Diffusal, and a Reaver. So they'll have probably about 2,000 life. I can't see it right now with him dead. But maybe a little less, maybe 1,800 life or so. Trixie's still sitting on his Necro 2. Does he have his Necro 3 coming out? Yes, he does. So 2 Necro 3s going to be out now for Fnatic, and that is just, combined with a Vlad's, that is so much pushing power. It's going to be totally brutal for Mouz to try and hold this off right now. 15 seconds till the Phantom Lancer comes back up. We'll have to see how much damage they can get done. Era just raging off that Drunken Haze right there to try and put as much damage as possible in this tower. Willing to tank like crazy to get it done. Getting disrupted very quickly. Maybe going to want to pop off an Infest, get himself healed up off of that. There comes the first set of Necrobook minions. Second one going to be coming out soon. He pops off another Rage. Damage coming out. The Fort is out. The Phantom Lancer is back up. They can engage. There goes the lasso. Firefly coming out. Rage has just ended on Arrow right there. There's no way he's going to get through this, but he does have the Aegis, we got to remember. Black going to get melted completely. Look how fast he went down. All of the damage coming out from the Lifestealer and the Undying. The Plague Golem amp just too strong. Era quickly healing himself up, doesn't want to burn off that Aegis just yet. Primal Split coming out from the Brewmaster, but Era just going to eat those pandas for hit points. Whirlwind's going to keep him out of the fight for just a little bit, but they're down the Phantom Lancer again, and they're down the Primal Split without... Oh, Kochka gets picked up, he gets thrown right back. They're looking for that last hit on that Storm Panda before he they get stunned as soon as he comes back into his normal form. There goes the Brewmaster. He buys back immediately, but without his ultimate, what is he really going to do in this fight? Pasa's going to go down as well. Alex in huge trouble, gets mana burns, pushed out of the fight. Drunken Haze put on Hani, of all people. He's not doing a whole lot of auto-attacking right there. We do have a Primal Split Rubik. He did manage to pick it off just as the stun went out on the recombine. Clap going to come out on a fly, lots of damage coming out, but they're trading a Rubik for a Rax and pretty much the entire team of Mouz Sports. That is exactly what Fnatic needed, and that puts them at a nice, significant advantage from which they can keep putting on pressure. So now they have over 5,000 experience advantage, over 5,000 gold advantage. That's, you know, a healthy lead, and the Rax lead as well. Like, without a Rax, that would be a lead that Mouz could definitely farm back over with the Phantom Lancer. As it is, that gives Fnatic, first of all, a little bit of breathing room. There's a lot less pressure on them, but also makes it much, much easier for them to take the next Rax. Because especially when, you know, if you have the level of, just the level of raw damage output that Fnatic does right now, and raw just pushing power when you combine those Necros and the Deso coming out of the Lifestealer. The Lifestealer who maybe can buy... Oh, what's he? He's buying a purse. Is he getting a Battle Fury? No, he's getting a Lincoln Sphere. I was like, are you kidding me? But no, he's getting a Lincoln Sphere for the Demonic Purge, I believe, or for the Bat Rider as well. So now, next time they blink in, they're going to be in for a rude little awakening on the Raged Lifestealer. And I don't dislike that at all, because if he can just sit there and fight and not have to worry about getting controlled by either of those spells, there's nothing they can do to stop him. Nothing Mouz Sports can do to stop him right now. 1700 life Phantom Lancer, and he's strong, but he's not as strong as the Lifestealer right now. That's, you know. Also, with the Trixie Silence ready to go, with the double Necrobooks coming out, the gem is there for all the counter warding. The Plague Golem amp damage, which is up to right now, I should really know this. 25% is the max, 10% min. It'll be up to its maximum, no, actually it won't. He's 4 levels away from 16. What am I talking about? I'm just lying to you guys. Basically, what I do all game is I say things that sound like they make sense, so that new players do them in games, and then they lose. That is my goal, to ruin the Dota community by giving everyone bad information. Eventually, I will just become so well-respected and well-known that everyone will play the way I tell them to, and then I will be the only good player left, because I'll be the only one who knows that my misinformation is in fact misinformation.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Lots of fire carpet coming out there. Looks like it's actually belonged to Rubik, though, I believe. No, I'm a liar. Or maybe he just used it real quick, but... Oh, no. Okay, it was burning those guys down. I just couldn't quite see who was burning or not from it. But it looks like Fnatic, they've taken that range Drax in mid lane, easy enough, and there's creeps pushing in from mid lane. So now, what I was trying to get out is Fnatic has such amazing raw damage output that if Mouz isn't willing to engage to try and save this tower, like if they have to send someone to defend their mid towers or something, now that the mid Rax is down, the amount of damage output that they can take while they're trying to kind of skirt around and not quite engage the 4v5, that tower is going to melt, just like it did last time. Here we go. Oh, Soul Assumption burns off the Lincoln, so now they know he has it. Oh, Coach could just burn his... Blank, what did Fly get off him? He got Sticky Napalm, which is... Sticky Napalm is a good spell, but the really excellent thing about it, of course, is how it amplifies all of your other spells. So PL takes bottom tower, but at the same time, top tower is going down. PL's got to port back in here soon. The top Rax is going down. He can't... Alright. He's back in. There goes the silence, and they're just happy to just take the racks while the silence goes off. The tombstone is just whacking things, and they don't care. They'll gladly use silence and tombstone just to get themselves a free racks. Fatal looks like he wants to go on no-tail, but thinking better of it, not wanting to engage into the uphill. Hani, though. Hani might want to go in. Ward definitely sees what they're up to. I mean, if they were paying attention, they know that there's a lifesteal in Hani, and they know Hani is invisible right there. Or at least that he went invisible right there, and they'll know better than to push out. And they do have a sentry right there, so they'll see him if he tries to come in. So, Hani maybe going to look for someone to come out here. You have to... Oh! Is there a gem on black? There is indeed. So, now they definitely know where Hani is, and he's just going to say, alright, see ya. We got you top racks. We don't really care that much more. Trixie has a Hyperstone. Oh my gosh, is Trixie going Curious? I think he might be. That's amazing. Curious Silencer. Not Curious Lifestealer, Curious Silencer. Fantastic. Okay, he could be going Mjolnir. But I think that's a whole lot less likely than just getting an AC. Alright, looks like we do have Roshan is back up. Mousesport's going to try to engage him. If they can sneak a Roshan right here, it could throw them, basically buy them enough time to keep farming that Phantom Lancer. Which is exactly what they need here. All they need is time. They win in the end. So Fnatic still has to be a little worried about anything that buys them time. But they have a lot of good pressure because of the 2 Raxas they've managed to take down. But they, again, losing time pretty much can lose them the game. Black are trying it out. There goes the initiation from Fada. Oh, he gets lifted! Oh, just before he got his split off, he just gets completely annihilated. That could swing the entire game straight into Fnatic's favor. Brewmaster buys back. Hani gets pushed up, trying to take out Black. Oh, the Soul Rip is going to keep him in good health. The slow goes out onto Alex. There goes Koshkova picking up Era. This could be huge. Lincoln gets burned off. Fada goes in, pops that Primal Split, getting a lot of just Panda damage and control out. Era's still alive, going to infest right into Hani to get him out. Blinks away, so Era not going to go down despite how much damage he took after that lasso. Koshkova trying to chase people down right now. Nobody died on either team except for the Brewmaster, so basically burned Brewmaster ultimate and forced a buyback out of him. If they don't lose anything off that, that's fantastic. Oh, Hani still has Era hidden inside him. Oh, and there he goes! They didn't realize, and Pos just gets melted. So much damage coming out from that Lifestealer. That's 2 heroes down and a buyback used in exchange for nothing coming out for Mousesports, and that is exactly what they can't have happen right now. They can farm their way back into this game, but if they keep falling further and further behind... GG? No. They can't be... Seriously? I mean, okay, they're 2 Raxes down. They know they can't get Roshan. Fake GG. No, Fada. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Well, that was anticlimactic. It wasn't at the end of the fight. They just kind of sat. But yeah, I mean, it's not denied the Aegis. I mean, if you look at it, a 7,500, more than 7,500 gold advantage, about a 75 or XP advantage, about a 7,500 gold advantage. But I mean, if you're Mousesports, if you know that you have to win this game to keep going in the series. Maybe they had another game to play yesterday they needed to get to. I don't know. But that's it. 2-0 Fnatic. Bit of an anticlimactic finish, but some really nice back and forth games. Actually, Mouz looked like they were taking a very good early advantage in this game, but Fnatic got a couple really nice turnarounds on some overextensions, and then just capitalized on it. They gave away a tiny bit, but never so much that they couldn't stay in the game. And they just capitalized and capitalized and capitalized and made really good use of those Necro books to put a lot of pressure on Mousesports. That's what won them that game. So if you were here for Game 1, you know it was amazing. I hope you enjoyed Game 2 as well. These will be up on YouTube. All my games are. You can check that out at youtube.com/medicalhippie. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. Sub me on Twitch. I love you guys. Thanks for coming out. I will see you Tuesday. Tuesday night, same time, same place, will be my next cast. Take care, friends.